Somewhere in the darkest part of the universe, there is a place where the laws of physics simply give up. Light cannot escape it. Time slows to a crawl near its edge. We call it a black hole, and it is, without question, one of the most violent and extreme things that has ever existed. And somewhere on a tiny, unremarkable planet orbiting an ordinary star, there is a creature so small that 1,000 of them could fit on the head of a pin. It has no brain, barely any body, and yet it is, unmistakably, alive. These two things could not seem more different. One could swallow entire stars. The other could be crushed by a raindrop. But they are part of the exact same story. The story of everything that exists, at every possible scale. And today, that is the story we are going to tell. Welcome to the Anatomy of Everything. This is the beginning of a journey through all of it. Not just space, all of it. From the biggest structures ever discovered, down to the smallest living thing ever found. Along the way, we will walk through deep time, through ancient Earth, through the rise of plants and animals, through the human body itself, and through everything humanity has built since. By the end of this journey, across many episodes, you will understand your place in something much bigger than yourself. Let's start where everything starts, at the very top of the scale and the very edge of what we understand. The universe is roughly 13.8 billion years old, and it began not as an explosion in space, but as an explosion of space itself. In the first fraction of a second, everything that would ever exist was compressed into something smaller than an atom, and then it expanded, faster than light, faster than anything since. Stars formed, galaxies formed. Black holes formed at the hearts of nearly every galaxy we have ever observed, including our own. Some are small, some contain the mass of billions of suns. We will spend an entire chapter of this journey inside that story alone. How stars are born, how they die, and how the universe built every atom you are made of inside the furnace of a dying star. But a universe of stars and galaxies is only the beginning. Zoom in and you find something almost as strange. A planet, our planet. And long before there were cities or people or anything resembling us, Earth was a completely different world. Oceans covered in creatures with no names yet. Skies ruled by animals the size of buildings. Mountains rising and falling over hundreds of millions of years in a slow, violent dance we call geology. We will walk through prehistoric Earth exactly as it was, long before anyone was around to see it. Then came life as we would recognize it. Plants learned to pull energy directly from sunlight, and in doing so, changed the entire chemistry of the planet, filling the air with the oxygen every animal alive today depends on. Animals evolved into an almost unimaginable range of forms. Creatures that fly, creatures that live at the bottom of crushing ocean trenches, creatures built entirely of instinct, and eventually, creatures built with something new, complex thought. Which brings us to the human body itself, arguably the most complicated machine in the known universe. A brain with more connections than there are stars in the Milky Way. A heart that will beat over 2 billion times in an average lifetime, without you ever having to think about it. We are, each of us, walking around inside a structure of almost incomprehensible complexity, and most of us never stop to consider it. And once you understand the body, you start to understand everything the human mind has built around it. The physics and chemistry that explain how everything works, at every scale. The geography and weather systems that shape entire civilizations. The trains, roads, ships, and aircraft that shrank a planet down to a place you can cross in a single day. The art, architecture, and music that turn survival into meaning. All of it is part of the same unbroken chain, starting from a black hole billions of light years away and ending with a symphony written in a small room by a small, remarkable species on a small, remarkable planet. So here is the honest scale of what we are about to explore together. At one end, a black hole, so massive it warps the fabric of space and time around it. At the other end, a creature so small it is invisible to the naked eye, and yet still, somehow, unmistakably alive. Between those two extremes lies everything else that has ever existed. Every star, every ocean, every dinosaur, every flower, every human thought, every building, every song. That is not a small story to tell, but it is, without exaggeration, the only story there really is. Because everything that exists is connected by the same physics, the same chemistry, and the same 13.8 billion years of time. This series is going to walk through it all one piece at a time, starting from the very largest and working our way down to the very smallest. And by the time we reach that tiny, near-invisible creature at the very end of the journey, you're going to understand something that most people never stop to consider. That creature, and the black hole we started with, and you, sitting right here, right now, are all made of the exact same fundamental material, shaped by the exact same universal rules. We are not separate from this story. We are the part of it that finally learned how to tell it. So if you are ready to see the entire scale of existence, from the darkest edge of a black hole to the smallest flicker of life on Earth, subscribe and join us for the very first chapter, the birth of the universe itself. This has been the Anatomy of Everything. See you in the next episode.